Hello, in this video I would like to talk about one of my favorite filmmakers, Jim Jarmusch. He's an American filmmaker. He was born in Akron, Ohio in 1951. His first film was released in 1981, and that film was called Permanent Vacation. And the next one film was released in 1983, and with that film he won the Camera d'Or, Golden Camera in Cannes, France. That award is gave to young filmmakers, for those filmmakers who has produced or has made his first film or opera prima, his first film. That film was called Stranger Than Paradise. Stranger Than Paradise. He won that award with that movie. And in 1985, uh, his next film was Mystery Train. Was shooting in Akron, Ohio. In Akron, Ohio, it's about three stories that has a one element in common. Every story is related to Elvis Presley. It has a very poetic meaning because Elvis has died 15 years ago, but his spirit is around the place, all over the place, and in a way, or is always related with the people who lives there in that town. And in 1991, he released probably one of my favorite films, Night on Earth. Night on Earth is about five stories around the world, and one story is in LA, the next one is in New York, and then there's three stories in Europe, in Rome, in Paris, and finally the last one is in Helsinki. And that five stories has one thing common. Every story has or take place in a taxi. And it's a very funny. It's a kind of comedy, but has a very sad stories too. It's a kind of drama, comedy drama. There's too many things after that. Very interesting films. In those films, there's great films like and Ghost Dog or Broken Flowers. There's a long list, but actually, what I want to talk about Jim Jarmusch because what he depicted for the cinema. He's part of one way to make films, what the industry has called independent cinema or indie cinema. Indie cinema means all those films made outside Hollywood system. The films produced by Hollywood has something in particular. The director or the artist involved in the process, the film process, has no control of the film. The rules has been dictated uh, by the studio. The studio shows the actors, the photographers, the whole crew, and the studio the final define the goals, how to make a film, and that means that the director has no control. The final decision, the most important decisions, are not under his control. That's why exist in the film, because there was an artist that realized in the middle 60s that there's other ways to make films. And for then, there was a great actor and great filmmaker called Cassavetes, John Cassavetes, who, along with other colleagues and other actors, started to produce small films with low budget. They met and discussed their subjects, their artists' interests, and they produced short films. But he realized that Ken made long films with low budget, and the result was very interesting. Actually, for those days, there's a film called Faces by John Cassavetes that is one of the most important films of the decade, or the final part of the decade. So many others directors or young directors created what the many usually or used call the new Hollywood. It means new stories, new characters, new ways to tell that stories, new aesthetics, new languages. Among those directors, there's too many very important, like Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese, who produce great films, and with their own rules. And but when I talk about Jim Jarmusch, is I love her films, his films, but the most important thing to us, when I say to us, is Latin. I want to say Latin American filmmakers or any who's interested in made films. Jarmusch is important for us because we have no support, we have no big budgets, we have no there's no industry in our countries, and try to make a film is a very difficult process. And Jarmusch is a paradigm for us in when it comes to make a film, because we have to find a way to get money and to produce the whole film, every process, every part of the process. And so it's very important, and it's a referent for filmmakers around the world. His films are beautiful, and, and he has been admired for many through the years. And as I already said, is one of my favorite filmmakers. Not only because he's part of the indie films directors, just because his films are great. And that's all. That's all what I want to say about Jim Jarmusch in that video. I hope that you sometimes you have the opportunity to see one of those films, of his films. Don't just do it and go to the cinema.